Okay.
Okie
I still
dokie.
feel like this is weird without cans.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet to run headphones to everybody, so
Right.
I wouldn't
Well, not
want
on
to
a visual
anyway. I don't know.
podcast.
I'd
Yeah.
rather feel like we're sitting in a room together. I don't know.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Fix it in post.
You guys hungry? You guys excited about dinner?
I actually had
Yes, I am hungry.
Okay.
in
Corey,
Burnsville.
You already ate?
Not like 1 o'clock.
Okay, that's not too bad because our reservations are at 8:15. So, all right. So I don't have any cologne this time. I was going to call the whole thing off because there's no
Car
Drakkar.
Noir.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I don't know. We have questions, and I brought some. I almost said paraphernalia, memorabilia from the old
Nice.
times, but the album that shall not be named.
Yeah.
So do we not have a visual monitor for us to see what we look like on camera?
Yeah, that tiny screen over there. Because otherwise, people get really self-conscious, and the whole time they're like fixing their hair and shit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been like a year since last time, a little bit over.
Yep.
Yeah.
And since then, we didn't really all hang out very much. But I did come by with that tape and have all you guys sign it for Nicholas, who, by the way, has a question that we'll listen to.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Nutunen.
Yeah. He sent like 4 questions, so I think we're
Wow,
going to only
nice.
take care of a few of them. But
Okay.
yeah. Are you guys nervous about jamming again?
No, I actually practiced.
Practice, Seek, and Destroy?
I
the
did.
Beginning of Fail to Be?
I did all of Fail to Be.
You did?
Yeah, and it surprised me. I played along with the YouTube channel.
Did you ever go, how do we play so many fucking notes?
I didn't
No,
practice Fail to Be at all.
I don't remember playing that fast, and I was like, was I on crack when I was 16?
Was it the
because
recording or was it the like?
the one that you posted on your channel,
Oh, was it live though, or was it just me like playing our album?
it was the green background SANCTUS.
Oh,
with
the actual
Fail to Be.
recording of it.
Yes.
Okay, because we played it faster live, I think, which is crazier.
I don't know how.
I've been jamming to the files that you sent me. They actually showed up in my Google Drive now, so I'm like, oh, there it is.
What happened? Were they not working for you?
I don't know, but when he emailed them to me, it was fine. But that link in the convo,
Yeah.
it was just like, access denied. Fuck you. You're not
Broken
getting
link.
this file.
It's not meant to be. Quit the band now.
And then the ones that would play would stop. Like the last 10 seconds of every song was like cut off or something.
Weird.
It was just weird. But then he sent me the real versions and like, oh, this is better.
Do you have an Android?
Yeah, I have Android.
That's probably why. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I tried to download the whole thing and it get this really long, weird link, and then I couldn't get it. But I could play them, each of them. I just have to hit download each.
Weird. It worked fine for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, for Metallica, I was like, I haven't played that in a minute, but I've been playing along to the old songs. So I've even been working on like Missing Time, Drop D, I go Fragmented.
I got to be
I
honest.
made it through like 3-4 songs, so that's good for me.
I'm not ready for Fail to Be today because I thought we decided we're just going to do Seek and Destroy. But then I thought if we want to just do...
Like I said,
it's
I just
super
want to play
fun.
my lick.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
Okay.
I just want to
that's
play
why
that.
you want to just play the intro.
Do.
One of the
Boo,
things that
boo,
was
boo,
interesting
boo.
to me was in Fail to Be, I remember in the middle part where it breaks down and it's dun-dun-dun before your guitar solo.
And none of us could figure out
Yeah,
that
I couldn't
riff.
figure out that lick either.
I
was
did.
like,
I
what's
actually
that?
figured
did.
that out again. It
Teach
was
us.
like, oh my goodness. Well,
Is it 5/7 through
yeah, there was only one part that I had trouble with the rhythm was when we switch into G.
Yeah.
And it does the dun, dun, dun. I got that part, but I didn't remember. I thought I did something really different.
That's
for
not the
that
riff I'm thinking you were talking about, though, because
I
I
was
figured
talking
that out
about
from my video.
I was talking about something in Missing Time.
Oh, I thought it was average. You're right. Missing Time.
But that
But it's
part,
similar to that.
Yeah. Really fast
I couldn't get the
hammer-on.
billy doo doo.
Yeah.
Dilly doo 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 doo.
Do you know what that is? Because I don't know either.
yes,
Dilly-
probably. We could probably look at that and then
I couldn't
go
have
through
figured
it.
out the dooley, like the first part of the lick.
Was it
I was
the
like,
dooley or the
what
dooley?
is that? Like
Yeah.
I couldn't.
That's what I was worried about because we're doing the podcast first for like an hour or whatever, and then we're going to jam and we have to get a deadline to go eat. So I thought, man, what if we just sit around and like dink around for an hour? We don't even play anything because we're trying to remember stuff. That's kind of why I wanted to make it basic,
That's fine. Start with Metallica, like how it all started.
Seek and Destroy,
Makes sense.
From the Bell Tolls. Wait till you see the video. I'm going to play you.
It's a progression. Next time we play Megadeth, we
Yeah.
work our way up to our own originals. And
No,
about
we
a
played
year
Megadeth
from
at
now.
Lisa's party, and we should not play Megadeth.
You know what? Listening to the old stuff though, it amazes me how much that the Megadeth riffs are in there, like, in a good way. Like,
Well,
there's so much
totally.
cool.
Fail
It's
to Be.
original, but it has that same.
When I was playing along with Fail to Be, all I could think of was Harvester of Sorrow and Disposable Heroes combined.
Oh yeah,
As
I can
I'm
see
listening to
Disposable.
it. I'm like, I can hear the influence on that one. pretty
Harvester,
clear.
I think of when I hear Swords of Sadness for some reason, just the real groovy tom sound or whatever, you know. But
Well,
you
we-
could probably name all the influences throughout all our albums because somebody actually asked us that question, so maybe we should save it. But
Riding that E string, quite a bit.
oh my God,
in those
fail to
early
be.
songs.
There's 6 riffs before you even sing. I counted it.
Right.
But what I wanted to tell you guys that I respect your parts way more now that I actually had to learn them to redo those, whatever, those riff videos that I just did. And I'm like, I didn't know Cory did that. Because you do these little things that make the difference. It's like really good bass players always do that, where it's like, oh, I thought he just followed the riff. But like the end of, what is it? Swords of Sadness, you do some like trill. That's not what we do. No, at the end you do a different note. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, I harmonized it, Mike. It's called the harmony.
Oh, teach me.
That was everything to me on those. Well, I would try and come up with something that worked, into your guys's whatever you were doing. That's it, and especially on Failed to Be. I know this is going to be like early Sanctus heavy. I hope everybody's
That's the
knows
whole-
these songs, but I forgot about like I'm playing like the pre-chorus in Failed to Be, where I'm doing it's like do 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 backwards power chord. Like I can see all the things that I put into the songs as I learned them.
Yeah.
Because when I figured out a bass could play a power chord, I fucking put it everywhere. It's all over the place. Especially that intro, the blow dee doo doo dee doo, just me plucking out that power chord down
Takes
to
up
the
a lot of space though.
B or whatever, and then that. What gets me is almost listening to this and listening to all this stuff that I put in those songs. Like, okay, well that's the pinnacle. Like that was my style of filling in tastefully here and there. But on this thing, it's like I forget about what I did. Like that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that thing? Oh, you forget about it, then you hear it again, like, oh,
That's what I was
sweet.
saying. It's like, okay, that's always been there, but if you
I used to
take
do
it out,
this stuff.
I'm surprised you didn't go and buy a 12 string like the guy from King's X,
Right.
because you like that huge sound,
Yeah.
And then Al's parts, I was like, man, you really had to keep your, I don't know, that machine gun wrist going through the whole solo. And I thought I had it tough, and you're over there going, diddle, diddle,
It was hard
diddle.
practicing it at real speed, because from what I remember I can practice it myself. But when I played it with the recording at the temple we recorded that at,
Yeah, it's tough.
blew my
Start getting
mind.
tennis elbow.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I mean,
It's that youthful, angsty
Right.
chemistry we had or something.
Well, and another thing too, we changed that song. If you remember, we did that to quite a few of our older stuff.
Your Last
that when
Breath,
we played.
My Demand.
Even Failed to Be in the middle part. I think you probably have a video
do,
somewhere of
yeah.
us jamming it where we, instead of doing the more intricate guitar part pre your guitar solo in the bridge, we just did a straight out like
In my weird breakdown?
Yep. We went into like a one riff, yeah.
And I kind of like that. As I was doing the really hard one, I'm like, wow, no wonder why I wanted to change it.
Well, that's what gets me about watching the videos is when you watch the later videos where we changed the original versions of these songs because we were so bored of them. Oh my God.
Right.
We played them for 2 whole years. Let's change this part. Let's change that part. That's where you see it is in the live footage. Because like, oh, we had tinkered with it 4 times and this is what it ended up as.
And we tinkered so much, we ended up with this abomination, I think. But the thing is some of those changes were really great live. Like I watched a video where I think it was that really awesome Mirage video where all those people were there and stage diving and stuff. And I think we kicked into Fail to Be, and when it went diddle-lit, diddle-lit, it was just like this moshing part. I think we were a little too concerned about if we had enough moshing parts in our songs at one point.
But
Especially-
it fit that energy though.
Yeah, it's like you have to strike a balance between musicality and being exciting live, I think.
Right?
A band like Pantera nailed both, but
I wasn't that talented. So.
should we do some questions?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to start? Actually, you know what?
How's this going to work?
Can we react to 2 of our videos? It's just really short,
Absolutely.
one song each. Okay.
Absolutely not.
So the first one, Lisa's Party. What do you guys remember of that show? Besides, what's his name, getting in a fight and everybody leaving? Remember that?
Jim Marinoff.
Jim Marinoff.
Yeah.
Marinoff got beat up or something, and everybody laughed. It's like, damn popular kids.
I didn't even remember that.
At least it wasn't during our set. It was afterwards. I
Yeah, it
think,
was
right?
after at the end of the night.
Maybe I'll play it and it'll spark some
I
memories.
remember
You guys
loading
are-
downstairs. We had to go down a huge.
Wasn't it like a
stairway.
VFW?
Yeah,
was
it
a
was like in the
VFW.
basement of
It was an American Legion, the VFWs on Coon Rapids Boulevard over by
Oh.
Whispering Pines. I only know this because it just sold and a church bought it. Now it's like a church. And Chanticleer Pizza was in the strip mall across the street. They bought the old like Brooks gas station on the end and turned their Chanticleer into a full sit-down bar. It's a great restaurant. The food is really good. And I feel like all the people that used to go to the Legion just like switched over across the, because like, hey, that closed, this one opened, or the people that had that Chanticleer knew, hey, we open a bar now. Like we're filling a spot in the market here that's like, and they're great. Every time we go in there, they're busy. You know? And you get that good thin crust pizza and fried chicken.
We sounded that
That
good.
broasted,
Mike?
you get a broasted chicken dinner, like mashed potatoes and
Yep.
everything, and pizza. I'm like, it's the best. I get a little 2-piece fried chicken thing, and my wife gets pizza. Take a couple pieces.
Yeah.
hard. I freaking set up a soundbar.
Sorry, I
Oh,
talk
thank
a lot
you.
about food, Mike. It's kind of my thing.
I could have the audio from that.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, so there's Chris's China symbol.
Yep.
Of course.
There's my sweet mullet because I'm trying to grow my hair out. Nice graphic, Mike. I like it.
Thank you.
What is this? No.
Looks like it was shot in 1945.
It does.
Oh.
Jason Given in the front row. He's the guy who gave me shit about wearing all those Metallica shirts.
I see Janet Christensen down in front with the polka dot shirt on.
I'm wearing a POW shirt from Tony's shirt.
I'm sure
There's the V.
Paula Pearson and April Hernandez are somewhere out there.
They're in the back doing blow, I think.
Al, didn't you
Well, is
eat
that
lunch
late
with
on
them in
everything?
junior high?
Just
It was
wait, Chris.
April Hernandez, right?
Yeah.
Corey,
And Paula Pearson.
Corey, you got to check this out. I like your bass tone in this recording. It sticks out.
That's my Fender Bassman and my Bullfrog 15-inch speaker.
Al, were you in heaven or were you freaking out here?
I was very nervous.
Okay.
Really self-conscious.
Doesn't the PA go out? Is this the one you picked?
No, not on this one. There's Matt
we even
Madsen on the
have
right.
Do we pop a breaker at some point and there's like no vocals?
I think that probably happened. Oh, it just jumps around a little bit. Sorry.
Is this Tony's great editing?
I think so. He's just like boring. I think my grandma filmed this. Oh. Wait till you guys hear the solo.
Jason Brueggemann. That's the dude's name.
There's some headbanging.
Pull
going
the hat
on there.
off
I'm
and start
liking
doing the
that.
headbang.
I'm liking that.
Who's that asshole with the white hat, by the way?
Yeah, well,
I hate that kid.
directing the
That's
band.
Brandon Fackler. He comes into the restaurant.
He was
Tony
really
zooms in on
annoying in
his
this
hand.
video. Check out how bad this part gets with the whole band.
Is that Ryan Malik standing behind
Yeah.
us in the back?
It is. Oh shit! This Ryan Malik is just like, hey, what's up?
I was self-conscious because he was behind me. Like, I can't
He'd be
screw up.
like-
Listen, we don't know where we are. Watch this.
Wow, what am
How
I
it
doing?
goes? Then Al's like, I'm just going to go.
Are you playing your
So
Fender
tight.
Bullet at this point?
That was my knockoff Fender Stratocaster, right? First guitar.
You
Was
found
it
the
a
beat.
knockoff?
I
I
can tell
thought it
you're on the
was
wrong
like a
beat here because you
Squire.
hit the crash
It was
on
a
the
Squire.
It was a
Like,
Squire.
Maybe it was
right.
a Lars Ulrich move.
I think it was the Korean.
When you say knockoff,
Well,
I
it
think
was-
like
yeah, I
the
just, like, ran
Japanese
right through
fake
the stuff.
No, the
brand, you know?
They had
Kinda
a
like
Squire.
the,
They had a Squire that was a Korean version, and then they had one that was a
Right.
Japanese
Yeah.
one, and the Japanese ones were not as high quality.
right.
You know what's weird about
Because
this?
some of the Korean stuff
We're
is
playing
actually
in-
good.
We're playing in front of all the popular kids, and we're like total nerds. Chris fit in, but I think this was really, I don't know.
If I could fit into the same jeans I wore back then, what I'd give.
Well, I tucked my shirt in nicely, is what I see. I was probably more worried about that coming untucked, you know, working too hard.
Oh, Jason Gibbons making out. Freaking 90210 in the front row there.
Those guys were happy just to have a live band. You
Yeah,
know?
isn't that
Let's
cool?
do a little Mystery Science Theater. What are these guys playing right now? I got no fucking clue.
Yeah. The kid on the right there, he keeps singing along, but he's really stoned or something. At the end, you can hear him screaming.
That's Jason Brueggemann.
Okay. Did he ever become a singer for a band? Because that'd be funny to capture this.
No. I think after 8th grade hockey, he probably didn't do much else.
Okay, wait till the end. He starts screaming, "Search it!"
I can mainly pick these kids up by what sport they played.
She's like, "My hair is out of place."
Hockey, baseball, hockey, football, hockey, basketball player.
Cory, we're rocking here.
Hockey, what?
We caught the beat.
It's about time.
We got the beat. They're all like, "We're out of here." Okay, let's see what happens here.
You know, we were playing in a really tight space too.
All Al and I were thinking of is this is like Cliff Mall, except our version. Like when they played Whiplash in that little club. Okay, let's see how the end goes. See, he's screaming. By the way, that girl in the front row, everyone looked like her back.
Oh my god.
That's Risa Dahl.
Oh, boy.
Taylor Dahl.
She's really pretty.
That's pretty bad.
It's that huge hair thing.
You can pick out most of these people still. They're on Facebook. Most
Okay,
of them.
I don't stalk everyone like you do. I'm just kidding, I do. Initial reactions to that?
I don't remember it being that bad.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Several times.
I think something that I keep in mind about that was we became a band, a month or two before that, actually.
Was it that?
Yeah, that was January.
Well, we got
of
together
91.
October, and that was, 3.
So we didn't have much
3
time
months.
to...
We probably practiced 2 times, 3
Did
times.
we do Ride the
together.
Lightning at the talent show before that?
After?
Oh, we did it after that.
We did 2 things, right? Before the
Talent
talent
show was like
Hope's party,
March.
or was that after?
That
It
was
was
after.
It was Lisa's party, talent show, Epiphany Springfest,
Yep.
Hope Highland's birthday.
Because we got way
Rock
better
and Roll Limited.
fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like after that, it was.
And don't forget that Andover party that summer too.
Yeah.
That got shut down after half of a song.
That was really
We're in
bad.
Andover. No one's gonna. There's no neighbors. Like 3 minutes later.
I mean, at Chris's house when we tried
no,
to do Hangar 18.
this was out at
Hanson Boulevard. And
way out on Hanson. On someone built the stage. It was like,
Oh, wait.
their
The
backyard.
big tall stage with Ryan
was
Malick?
it Jared Carlson or somebody?
yeah.
That's the gig that I cried afterwards because I was so bad.
'cause we
Okay.
got shut down.
No, that's not why I cried.
I think you talked about that in one of your.
We went.
In
It was
one of my
like, dude,
videos.
the metal chicks are gonna be there. Like we went because it was like there's gonna be chicks at this one. We might, you
there
know.
were. Except we
So we didn't play?
we played a little bit, I think, right? Because I remember
Yeah, we
thinking
did.
I did horribly.
Dude, Tina Salmons is gonna be out there with her friend.
Yeah.
Mike, I think she likes you.
Is that the
think her
one
name
where
is
we
Jessica
used my dad's guitar amp as the vocals?
Probably the
Because
silver
other
tone.
bands
Yeah.
played earlier before us. Right?
God, that's crazy. We didn't
I
even have
don't
our.
really think so. There wasn't really any other bands. I think.
No, there was.
We
Because I
kinda
remember
were the
Ryan
band.
Malick played, and I was like, that's why I got so depressed
Well,
because he was
Ryan
so
got it
awesome.
by himself and played freaking.
No, that's the talent show. Joe Satriani.
Who was the blonde
Ryan
blonde
Malick
singer?
didn't. He never had a band.
I think they were in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was his name?
Wasn't it Jealousy that played that? No, that's something else. The blonde singer.
Bill Bondison's
Yeah.
band might have played that. No, that wasn't till later. That was when we were like in high school.
It might have been a band. It might have just been Ryan, but I remember.
No, whose house was it? It was one of the freaking metal.
Jared Carlson.
one of
or-
those guys.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Who was that? Who are the Mick and
Yeah.
Corey Stokes or whatever? Like one of those.
Corey Stokes.
That group. I clump all those guys together as
Me
like
too. Phil LeClaire. It's like they all were.
Phil
kinda-
LeClaire. Yes,
That's whose house it was.
Really?
Yes, that's why I'm
LeClaire.
saying it had to have
Okay.
been one of those people in that.
Remember
those
Boots?
6 guys.
He called himself
Jason Boots.
Yeah.
Jason.
He still hangs with the Coon Rapids bars. I used to see him at frickin' Willie's all the
You know
time.
what's weird? When we were really young, we used to go to CRs, and it was really scary because we always thought we were going to get beat up. But I remember Jason Boots like thinking he was really cool because he went up to the jukebox and played Stone Temple Pilots, "Half the Man I Used to Be," whatever that song's called, "Creep." Remember that?
That was in like 93. That would have been later.
Yeah.
We were still worried about getting beat up when we were like 16 or 17.
I was. I don't know about you guys, but
Was it
Mike
Matt
has such a
Madsen?
twisted view of
Matt
the
Madsen?
past.
Yeah.
he was in that
No,
video.
was he the blonde singer?
That actually
Yeah, but he
happened.
never-
That's the one. I
I
was thinking
remember
he was in
all
another
the
band.
time.
No, he never really made it.
No.
Al knows why.
But no,
I don't want to. I don't want to rip on Matt.
Mike, I thought you're talking about the time that the 3 of us went
CR?
to CRs way early on. We were still in junior high, and that's
Right.
when you have gay hair. Well, Lisa have hair. Like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that
No,
whole
it
thing.
was actually like a scene out of Dazed and Confused.
Yes,
where the guy was
yes.
like, "You talking about me smoking weed?" Or
Yeah.
you know,
But we had our
and-
little gang or something.
Yeah, man, I
No,
called
he
you a
just
reefer
wanted.
addict.
He just came there to kick some butt. you
Yeah,
know,
yes.
and
Wow.
guess
But
who
it was
didn't fit
somebody
in?
that we knew,
Us.
right? It was one of our
No.
people
Easy
from ours.
targets.
No, it wasn't.
Like a
anybody we knew.
rando guy that was just there to play pool and pick
Guy
on
with a
long
mullet
hairs.
and probably a Camaro at the time. I'm thinking so. You know,
Like the
yeah.
guy.
They
You
didn't
guys
like
watch
us too much.
Stranger Things. It's like that dude with the slick back hair. I could picture him. But
Steve?
how scary was everything back then? I mean, remember the fair we went to where I almost got my ass kicked by that football dude and you saved me? You saved me.
Yeah, well, the Coon Rapids 4th of July thing where
Yeah.
the guy was like, I heard you're picking on my brother. And Mike's like, huh?
No,
I'm
my
like, we don't know
sister.
your brother.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Because Cory doesn't really have like a filter sometimes. So you just stood up for me. And you're like, he doesn't know your damn sister. And I kind of ran away.
No, I knew it was bullshit. That was the thing. I was just
Yeah.
like, we don't even know you. How could we pick on, like,
Cory,
or
the
like I was
voice of
too
reason.
dumb to know the guy was making it up just to pick a fight with us.
Oh,
You know how I knew we were going to
And then I
have
turned around and you guys were a football field away, and I was like, "Oh, wait up!" You know?
Best defense, just run away.
gone.
I remember when I knew I wanted Cory in the band was actually in junior high. We had talked about him. We're like, yeah, that's this guy that plays bass guitar and he likes Aerosmith. And I saw Cory, and we were in the hallway, like,
And he looked
kind
like a
of the
guy that
front-
likes Aerosmith.
Well, the front of the school, and there was some kid that was
Still
giving
do.
you a hard time, and
Chris, it was Chris.
no, it was,
Yes, we
it was
talked.
some
Did we
other
talk about
guy.
that the
Yeah,
first
I think
time?
so.
And Cory just grabs him and throws him against the
What?
locker, and I'm like, "That's a metal bass guitar right there." I'm like, "This guy's in. I don't
No.
care. I don't care what he
Wow,
wants
that's
to."
sweet.
I know what this exactly was because the only fight I ever got in was this kid that was in my woods class. I took the wood class and made the clock, never finished it, you know, got a C or whatever. But it was when Home Alone came out. Home Alone was like #1, you know, it was all over. I have that tied in my brain for some reason. It was like around that time. And this was a kid in my class who I was actually friends with. But during the class, he was like throwing something at me or like doing something weird.
Gleeking on you.
Like gleeking on me or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? So we get out of the class.
Do we
and
need
he's
to
like,
describe
let's
what
go. We're
gleeking
going to do
is?
this right now. And I was like,
We're going to do this?
I still
love
had,
that.
I never dropped my books. Like I held my books and like with one hand,
Dude.
shoved this guy and it was like, what's up? And then he did the, oh yeah, sorry, we can be friends, you know, like whatever. They took us down to the principal's office, but Al happened to probably just randomly be there when that happened.
Wow.
It was in that weird wing where the wood shop was. It was auto shop or whatever,
yeah.
and then like the whatever or
Metal
home ec,
shop.
and across from home ec was the wood shop.
That's where shit went down.
And I just remember like that was the only time I ever got in a fight, except for high school. And I don't know if I was walking with you or maybe it was with Matt, and we were up on the second floor, and someone fucking gave us the shoulder, like in the hallway to like check you out of the way.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who I was with, but I remember turning around and being like, "Really? This is high school now." No, it might have been the kids who used to pick on me when I was a kid, because I was in 10th grade and they were seniors, and I'm like,
You know who I
"Are
am?
you kidding me? We're almost adults now. Like, knock this shit off." And then it stopped. They just walked away. Whatever, freak.
That's good. You avoided 2 fights just by standing up for yourself.
I just
Everybody has
I
those
had a lot
moments.
of bullies in the neighborhood that I grew up in was fucked up. It was like the kids down the block were all those jockey asshole kids that were in this video. Their older brothers or whoever lived in my neighborhood.
We're going to call them out.
From the day we moved in, we got picked on. We were the dirty kids.
Al wouldn't know it. We wouldn't know anything about that.
The other side of the tracks was Zia Street, where fucking Anacia lived, or like that divide. Like the houses that were down on the river were like the rich houses, and we were the other side of the tracks, living in our fucking Rambler up
I mean,
the
the
hill
Oaks
or
of
whatever.
Shenandoah. You remember
Well,
that?
kind
place?
of, but that was like a little microcosm of that.
Okay.
In my neighborhood,
There's always that
all those guys
classism
picked
going
on
on.
us.
Yeah.
Fucking Pelkey, Chip Cedar Strand. I'm going to name all these guys out here.
Calling you out.
Well,
You know what, though? I think we need to explain what gleeking is, just
Yeah,
because,
let's
Mike, you have younger viewers. So gleeking is the art of spitting on somebody with your mouth open and not actually seeing it until it projects
Al, can
out.
you demonstrate on Cory?
So it's like,
Well, okay,
you build
so-
it up and
yeah, you use your
you
tongue
get
and you flick it like a
stream
lizard.
of spit
So-
coming out at you.
I don't know if I've described
Let's
it. I
bring it
mean,
back.
this actually plays into it. One of the guys that was my childhood bully was Casey Karnowski. He married Lisa Knutson.
Cory's naming names.
They've been
man.
together since we were 16 or whatever, 25 plus years.
I'll admit it, part of you just was like, oh, Lisa Knutson.
Yeah, just like when Bridget got married and had kids.
She got really religious or something. I don't know what happened. But what were we talking about? Yeah, the gleeking thing. Who was that? Oh, there was a jock dude who sat behind me and he acted like my friend.
Who was
And
the
also-
gleeking champion?
His name was Jim something. And I kept feeling like
Kaminsky?
no, fuck him. This other Jim. But I just felt this mist on me. I felt this mist on me, and it felt kind of good at first, but then I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn around, and this guy's just constantly gleeking on me during class. And I turn around and be like, ha ha ha. I couldn't do anything because he was like a big football dude. So
I had a guy in my math class that could regurgitate his gum. That was always interesting. He'd
Onto
just
your
make his
hair.
face, and he'd be like, his face would turn red, and he'd get, and then all of a sudden his gum would be back in his mouth again. I was like, wow,
should have been
this
on
is
America's Got
messed
Talent.
up.
Al, do you remember being in the bus and we were so worried about people throwing gum in our hair because we were trying to grow our hair? And Phil Reno saved our ass because he knew your brother.
Maybe.
He was like our protector.
I've seen his name pop up on people you might know.
Yeah.
Like, who's
We're
Phil
friends,
Reed?
actually. He's probably going to see this. But we all have our bully stories. Either we were trying to be bullies or we got bullied. And I think Chris has the best
Oh,
one.
yeah. One of my other bullies, which was one of your guys' friends, tried to friend me on Facebook. Fuck you, Bo Holter.
Whoa.
Not ever.
Hello. Shots fired.
He was the one that was like, "What's up, hot dog man?" Remember when you guys did all that shit to me? And I
just a
rode your
joke.
bus and he heard about
He took
it.
it too seriously. Yeah. Bo actually was cool after a while, and his brother Brandon's really cool. So, but
No, don't believe it.
there's a time when we're all dicks. I think like we're all trying to find our place in the hierarchy. I mean,
I know somebody probably bullied him, and I was smaller than him. So
or
he
his dad
bullied
was a
me.
dick. You never know. But
Maybe somebody dropped a digit on him. Who knows?
did you a deuce? Did you ever have a
Oh, a
moment
digit,
where?
Mike. Dropped a digit on him?
Oh, I thought you meant shit on us.
No, I mean like somebody fucking diddled him. I don't know.
Oh, he was in wrestling, so he may have gotten his oil checked. You guys ever bully somebody and then they stand up to you and you just learn to back off? You're like, okay, I'm not really that person. Everyone look at Chris.
Do you want to talk
Yeah.
about the kids I almost went toe to toe with at the movie theater? Since that podcast will never air.
Oh my god,
Oh my god.
you went toe to toe.
Well, I thought I told you this story. I went to the Champlin movie theater and I brought my daughter and her friend to see the new Halloween movie.
You never told me
These
this.
people talked through the whole movie. Two different groups of people behind me, punk ass kids. At the end of the movie, they're still talking, looking at their phone, which they did throughout the whole movie. And I stood right in front of them and I was like, "Are you guys done yet?" Huh? I'm like, "Are you done yet?"
Whoa.
Movie's over, bro. I'm like, "Yeah, but you didn't shut up during the whole fucking movie." I said, "Next time, stay at home and stream it."
Everybody.
This isn't your living room. They have their blankies and their fucking shoes were off and all this shit. You know, I thought I was going to have to fight like four people,
for like
you know,
14-year-olds.
20-year-old
Oh.
punk ass kids who were just like,
Sounds like you're getting
"Fuck
older,
you, old
Cory.
man."
Yeah, you got a little.
I couldn't
George
handle it.
Carlin.
I'm like, I paid $50, like
Plus, it's
$30 to
Halloween.
be here to watch the movie and $25 in fucking movie candy bullshit, you know? Shut up. It's like no one has taught these kids, you don't shut off your phone, shut your fucking mouth, and watch a movie. It's not your living room. It's
I'm proud
You
of
know,
you, man.
speaking of phones, though, I am so glad we didn't grow up in the cell phone generation at all. I wouldn't want to have it. You got that footage that
yeah,
we
you
just
guys would have
watched?
sent pictures of my butthole to everybody. You guys would have been like, "Hey,
strangely
this is
have a
Corey's
few.
first prank."
Well, it's a new level.
He slept over and we did.
I
there
mean,
would be pictures of the hot dogs that you tried to
we
put into
talk
my
about
butt.
these things that happened, you know, in person, you know,
Yeah.
the fighting and
It's all in our
whatnot.
heads, though.
These guys are doing it on their phones 24/7.
The embarrassment of losing a fight in front of all these cameras.
Right. Well, they can't get away from it either. It's always there.
Do you guys remember when pagers actually finally came? Now, this is becoming old man chat now, but pagers came out and we thought it was so high tech. I mean, that was after all that stuff, though. well after.
Chris's mom had a car phone. I always tell that story.
Yeah.
Which means Chris had a car phone in the Miata, I think,
Yeah.
right?
No,
it was in
a
the Honda.
Accord.
Oh, shit.
And
Because I remember.
It only worked in the 694, 494 loop or something.
Really,
like
that was where the
Had that
satellite
long
was
antenna.
pointed. You know what's funny is I have great memories of it being super hot. Us having band practice at Chris's and
Never
Is this on
jumping in the
camera?
lake. I never jumped in the lake one time.
okay, there's a lot of things we didn't do. Remember when Chris had the big house in Anoka? We never had a party. But anyway,
I
Yeah, we
wanted
did.
to.
No, you
I
We
wanted
played
to.
Okay, I
ping
won't say it.
pong and drank
nothing ever happened.
Rolling
all
Rocks
good.
that Jalen Esky brought over because we weren't old enough yet or whatever. We had pool parties.
But do you guys remember walking in the Andover house to like that little grandma's supermarket?
Oh, yeah.
What was that called?
It was on Coon Lake's beach.
That's Ted
Millie's?
Millie's.
yeah,
Millie's,
yeah,
and then we'd
Or
walk by
Ted's store.
Ted's store.
Lisa
Yeah, we called
Knutson's
it
house,
Millie's.
and we were just weird. But it was good times. I remember the song at the time was Skid Row. Do you remember when the Skid Row album came out that had Wasted Time on it? It was Skid Row, the second one that you liked.
That'd be
a lot.
Slave to the Grind.
Slave to the Grind, yeah. It was whatever
That
time
wasn't
that
wasted.
was.
Wasted Time was on the first album.
No, it wasn't.
But
No, it's on Slave to the Grind. I'll bet you $20.
I don't have $20.
I have $20, but you'd have to break 100 because that's how I roll.
Ooh,
Whoa.
I only carry hundreds.
Yeah, I know this song because I have it on the Jelly Bean and Julia's playlist at
There's
the
no
restaurant.
way.
I
Well,
hear it.
Is
There's an
there a
easy way
better
to find
Is
out.
it all just wasted time?
Just talking about technology, we're all like, "How are we gonna ever find this
Yeah.
out?" And Chris is like, "Oh,
Oh yeah, I'm
Except for he
all
hits
for
this high note
technology.
at the
yeah,
end. where
that's
you
the
go,
part. Yeah, far away, and his voice goes like Mariah Carey."
"I feel desperation."
So is there a bet or no?
Whoever wins pays.
I'm sure Mike is right. I'm sure it's on Slave to the Grind album. I want to say it's on the first one.
Do you guys
Because
remember
the slow
Slave to the
song
Grind?
from the second album was Quicksand.
No, wait,
Jesus,
you're thinking of the wrong
so
album.
far.
So wait, you're talking about the self-titled album. You think that's
Yeah.
on, but I'm saying it's on
Right.
Slave to the
I'm
Grind.
saying it's on the first one. You're saying
The
it's
first
on
one had
second
18 in Life and all that. That's way different. Chris, verdict.
Second album, Slave.
Okay.
to the Grind.
You owe me.
I thought it was just Quicksand.
You're paying for
Jesus
dinner.
was like the weird one.
Didn't we say that? Whoever loses pays for dinner.
Yeah, I like that one.
No, we said YouTube pays for dinner.
That's true. Oh, I said you too pay for dinner.
Yeah, you too. Use.
When YouTube first came
Use
out, I thought
guys.
they were going to fail because I
I'm
thought.
sure Al makes more money at his
Use.
IT job than
Use.
I do one in the restaurant.
Speaking of,
Use guys.
let's check out the next one. This is going to be a few years later, and people. Okay,
Mike,
people
you gonna
talk
say
about.
anything about my shirt that I wore for you?
Is that the Karen hairdo?
This is the they live, laugh, love. You know,
That's
like a takeoff on
That's
the book.
hilarious. Can you get me one?
Yeah.
That's perfect. It's a Karen hairdo on They Live. Have you guys seen They Live with Roddy Piper?
Mm-mm.
That's what you guys.
What? You don't remember with the
That's why we don't get
sunglasses and
along.
him and Keith David getting that 5-minute long fight
Roddy Piper,
that South Park copied for the cripple fight episode.
the
of South
movie
Park?
that's coming true now. That's what 2021 is. Okay, you guys.
Okay. Let's check
No,
out the
I
next
know I
one.
watch this movie.
Chris just
with
wants to
Al.
jam and go eat.
You got to show him.
Actually,
the
Chris just wants to
poster.
go eat. He doesn't want to jam. All right. I was gonna play this guitar tonight, Al, but you brought your V, so we can't. It's like wearing the same dress.
What
you
happened to
gonna
your
do it?
white
Why not?
Charvel? What did you actually sell that or
Which
own
one?
it?
Oh, the white
the one
Charvel
that you
V.
played at? Yeah.
Dude, we could relive our Metallica dream that we never.
Well, I'll give Al
to
the
fruition.
Explorer.
I was thinking
No,
about
you
that
brought
the
your
other day.
V.
I wondered where that guitar.
Mike,
Ooh,
Mike,
Al with an
back
don't,
then?
Explorer. I
don't
get
you
a
remember
boner
the
for
early
that.
days of Metallica when they did Kill 'Em All?
Dude,
Kirk
this
had a
was
V.
in Cliff 'Em All.
Yeah, he
but
had- he
when
had
you
a
said
V.
you're bringing your V, I changed and I'm going to play the pink guitar. No, I'm going to play the white Charvel instead.
I do like that Explorer though. I told you that. I was like,
Dude, let Al play the Explorer. I want to see that. Al plays
We'll play
Explorer,
one
you
song
play
with
a
it,
V.
and we'll reenact Fade to Black and
Yeah.
Donington or whatever it was.
I practiced that one a little bit too yesterday.
What did you ask me, Chris?
What happened to your Charvel?
Oh, Chris can't relate, but back in the old days, we were all so poor we had to trade it in for like $20 to get our next guitars. So
$20.
I'm just kidding, Chris. We have to say though,
No, that thing had to go to like the scrap heap because that top horn had nothing left on it by the time Mike had to trade it in. It was so chipped away.
do you know the story about that? The first day I get this thing, it's like my first real guitar. My mom splurged on me $400 to get it at Guitar Center. I'm like, I have a V. My brother puts it on in the basement and he goes, Michael, do you have a pick? scrapes the tip of it against the brick wall.
Oh, I remember that.
And the
Scrape.
end of it has always been like wood.
But over time, it eroded to like you could see the fucking plywood it was made out of.
Really?
It was
Oh,
a
I don't
nub.
remember that.
Yeah,
It was a
you
nub
could
of its
see the
original
raw.
self.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Because he never had a case either. He just fucking guitar in hand, no matter
But that
what
was your
weather.
look, man. That was awesome. The big tennis shoes and the V.
Dude, I'm trying to get the bigger shoes, but I got to do it one step at a time.
Let's see this video.
Okay. First Avenue.
I think I know this one. I thought you said you're going to put the whole thing online.
I will eventually, but
Don't edit it. Just play it in its raw, true form. Mike's going to try and go for different camera angles, even though there's only one camera.
who remembers the First Ave gig
Watched it a million times.
where all the girlfriends and potential girlfriends sat on stage
Yeah, potential girlfriends for you, maybe. I was still a virgin at this point.
Sounds like average already.
Yeah, because this is May of '93, and I met Amber, Al's girlfriend. Well, you met Sarah at the Mirage like the next month or whatever. That's when I met her friend, and that's Sarah's friend Amber is the one that made me a man. There's no secret. It plays heavily into my legend. How can I play the average? How can I play this song and do everything that I'm doing physically on stage?
You were 13.
You don't remember this riff?
It's
I'll show you.
A lot of 7/5 pull-offs, I bet. Okay.
Really easy. It sounds harder than it is.
But the main riff is like impossible to play at this speed.
Chris's kick drums during the chorus. Cory, how much did that bass weigh?
It was heavy. I don't know, what does a Les Paul weigh? Probably that. 12
Okay.
pounds, 15 pounds.
I don't know, but I'm still playing my freaking PV PA system.
But
What?
if,
You guys know my grandma was at this show?
No? Was she in the front row like...
No.
drive all the way down from Victory.
No, there were so many people that were
Victory
like
neighborhood.
impressed.
Is this
Like,
with
wow,
the
your
Game
grandma
Awards drum
came.
set
Was
with
this?
our bass drums?
No,
Was
that
Uncle
was
Mike
up on
at
a
this
riser
one?
because I remember.
The whole
Did you
clan?
play it?
No, not at this
Did you
one.
play his kit?
Yeah.
No, I
That
remember
was
that
our
one.
very first time. At this.
Yeah.
Dude, check out my sweet circle bang.
Hicks, remember you were on the riser
learned
and you
from
couldn't hear us
Newstead.
the first time?
It wasn't a riser though.
Sure? Because I remember looking up at you and being like you were so far away.
For sure, no.
That was manufactured.
Because
I will
that
bet
was
you-
all around.
We-
all
that
the
was a
amps
planned
that
out-
Were around all the
Stop, right?
The back, you know how they
That wasn't
stack them up
planned
and
at all.
around. It's like
That's
that.
not in the song.
It was just
I think we should bet.
impromptu.
I'll find footage. Do you guys remember the first time we played?
Oh,
Chris
that's
was on a
right.
riser and he couldn't hear us and he was like freaking out. Wasn't he on a riser? First time we played
I don't,
first
think
half.
I don't think so. I'll bet you
No.
$20 on that.
No.
No, because whoever was playing after us was on the riser. It's probably covered up, right?
No,
But
this is
First
main
Ave didn't
stage.
do a riser though.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
No.
First Avenue
Not
Metal
not during
Massacre.
this show.
Not
Metal
during
Massacre
the,
never used a riser.
The monitor mix here was fat.
Yeah, but it was always the last
wonderful.
band, like the
I thought
big
that was the
band,
thing about
like-
Metal Massacre is everybody got to use the riser.
Well, if we could get a good shot, we could see
You're thinking of the Mirage.
possibly see a sheet laid over another drum kit. Then you'll know.
Okay,
But it's just hard to see from this angle.
I'm realizing I have a very fuzzy memory sometimes
Do you
about
remember
these.
the Mirage gigs though?
Yeah.
When they would not strike the drum kit, Chris would have to set up on the floor next to you,
Yeah,
and we had no room.
This is so much tighter than the
that's
party.
why I wanted to play both. Like, don't leave them just with that.
Love this part.
So out of
But this was like in our prime here, right? Early
I always
prime.
wonder what our prime is.
Sounds like I was censored right there.
You're
Love
in tune
this
now.
part.
Remember, there's a video where you're totally out of tune on that
Okay,
part.
I thought it was this one.
Just one?
Well, dude, on some of those demos, it's
The best part,
somebody's slightly out of tune.
we didn't give a shit. We wouldn't even fix it on the fly. We're just like, this is how it is. There's Cory's riff.
Here's my power chords.
And
I'm
this,
really up front in the mix.
the next dual guitar part, that was an accident. We just overlapped 2 songs. I'm like, oh, listen how this sounds.
That's why I put it on my video, because it sounds so cool. Yeah, people
Is that Blem down there?
probably.
Where's Blem? Is he doing the wheelchair?
My EQ pedal was on fire back then. It's so mid-range.
Well, it was your lead pedal, right?
Yeah,
You kick on that EQ and it would boost it.
to this day, I can't match that.
This is great camera footage. I mean, Tony
Yeah.
did so good on
This
this.
is good here. Well, this is like the only time during the show when he got close to the stage. Most of he's coming from these weird angles.
I'm so grateful, though, for all the shows he taped for us.
Oh, I know. I tell him that all the time.
Hey, Mike, do you know about Astound? I talk about Astound.
Oh, that dude. That dude was always at. Is that the singer for Porcelain God?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Mike something or other.
What's Astound?
It's a company that takes all of your old
Oh, yeah.
media. They'll take all your old high 8 tapes and stuff and put it onto
I could do all that shit. How dare you? But check it out.
I'm telling you, you need to get all of Tony's old
that-
tapes.
There's what's her
That
name?
song right there had that energy
Sonia?
that just kicked you in the
Sonia,
teeth. You know, just
Jenny Templin was probably.
you heard that.
No,
It's like,
Jenny Templin
what are you going to
was
do?
not there.
You know?
So that I had to put on to contrast with the Lisa's Party, and that wasn't. People talk about the Beatles making all those albums in 6 years. No, I'm just kidding. But in a short time, we somehow got to First Ave. I mean, from Chris's basement to playing Mirage, that was
2
a
years.
very short amount of time. But
2
I
years?
always tell
I
people.
was trying to think of how.
Well, from
what
the
was that?
from the first gig to this gig, that's 2 years, 5 months. Because that was January of '91, and this is like May of '93.
But how far did we get from Chris's basement? Remember that? It's like that summer where we all decided we're going to play every day in Chris's basement and treat it like a job. To where we got to Mirage. What time span?
Well,
was
I
that?
mean,
because we're so dedicated.
Chris's basement. I don't know about. I don't think we were doing the everyday practice thing until we hit Al's basement.
No, I'm talking about that summer. There's one summer where we're like, we're going to
Where I
treat
was
it like a
riding my
job.
bike
And
over with
no,
my
I'd pick
gig
you up
bag
in
and
my
my
blue
10
truck.
speed.
Remember?
There was a couple times where I rode my 10-speed all the way from the other side of town.
That's why, that you always say, well, how was I so skinny back then?
Before Main Street is what it is now, and it was just Menards and cornfields. It was before Riverdale was even built.
But we went from here to here in a short amount of time, I remember.
Well, most of it, you're right. We didn't actually play a whole lot in '92. We probably only had 4 shows in '92. So
practiced
that
all
was
the
Oh,
more
really?
practice.
Was that during
right.
Ramsey County Fair days?
Right.
Okay.
And I think in '93 we started getting like the Tuesday night at Ryan's, and even though we were playing in front of like 5 people, it kind of gave us a breather, and we got to actually focus on what it was like to practice on stage.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
'92
and-
is also when we first started doing the Mirage shows, right? It was like
Right.
December of
Right.
'92 with the
That
regime.
must have been
right.
crazy.
And when I look
go
at
that
some of those performances, I'm like, I cringe. I'm like,
That's
But
the
did
Les
we go
Paul
from
thing.
Rock and Roll Unlimited to the Mirage?
yeah.
Do you
Because
guys
I remember it was like,
That's a
well, this
huge-
is our last time at this.
We somehow
bowl
like
or whatever.
law of attraction that because we all dreamt of playing with the regime at the Mirage, didn't we?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's happening, and they give us those cassettes with High Treason. Remember
Yeah,
that?
I do.
And I'll never forget. I would stand and wait for the bus for school, and I had like a handful of these demos that we were supposed to pass out to people to advertise. And in the front, someone had like handwritten the phone number and the gig date and all that stuff. And I would listen to it on my Walkman, Treason and Regime. What was the song? Relentless was the song
Yes,
by
it
Regime.
was.
And then we would get
Just
on the
listened to
bus.
that whole album 2 days ago. It's on YouTube.
Wow.
Someone put the whole thing on YouTube.
Didn't Bill Bondison have that album?
Chris had it.
Really?
Chris bought it, and we all borrowed it from him. I think at one point, like made our own dubs or whatever.
Where'd you buy it? Like down
But
in
I
the valley or
remember
something?
I have no idea.
if you go back to the Swords of Sadness, that the
I'll
We
be
Are that's lifted from the regime because they have that never-ending dun 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 power ruling you. We are.
Well, don't you remember when
it was a great pull because it fits. You know,
we would play their song at sound check, and they would be rehearsing right upstairs at
Which
Ryan's.
song?
Oh,
We would play Never Ending Power.
Oh, okay.
At our sound check, and they'd come down
hear
because
it.
they'd hear. They're
I
like,
think you
wait a
guys
minute,
played it because I don't
who's-
know how to play
I
that
don't-
song.
Oh yeah, we did. We all jammed it.
We'd fake through it. We'd
Oh,
fake
okay.
it.
Yeah, it was
It's dun dun
heavy,
dun dun
yeah.
dun 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 dun. It
Right.
almost has the same groove as Swords of Sadness.
exactly,
Oh,
exactly, right.
We
Sorry,
owe them
Vern.
$5 in royalties.
But they would hear that, and they're like, Who's playing our music?" They come down.
That was our
and-
weird way of kissing ass.
Hey, can we have a moment of silence? I think we've lost 2 members of the regime.
Really? I thought it was just.
Their original drummer guy, Cory, I think he died, and bass player guy Chris Keys died like a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
Well, don't
5
forget,
years
my
ago
uncle
now.
Mike just recently passed away too. So get him off
Did
their
he
asses.
really?
Oh, really?
shit,
I didn't know
no.
that. Sorry to hear that.
We all, yeah.
Yeah, there's a celebration of life for him coming up here on the 20th.
Well, yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah,
Crazy.
Is
We're getting
he
to that
younger
age,
than
though.
your dad?
yes, 66.
Mm.
We're getting to that age though where it's like I always dreaded like this is where my parents get old and my
Right.
people start
So
dropping.
your aunt died
Absolutely.
recently?
Aunt Cindy, yeah,
So she's your dad's
sister, yeah.
Yeah, and when I saw the Facebook feed of that, I saw Mike Garrison, and I thought it was you right away, Mike. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, oh, that's right, your dad's name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The other Mike. I forgot.
it's a weird
So
age to
people
be
send
at.
in
Man.
questions?
Hell yeah, let's
Let's
do
do
it.
that.
Okay, so
We could literally sit here and talk for 4 hours,
Yeah.
and we'll never get to.
you want to do the video questions or the just questions?
We're gonna be like, oh, we gotta be at PB's in like 3 minutes.
They're flexible. They're cool.
How many video questions?
Oh God, it is almost 7.
Mike has his own booth
just
at
2.
Pittsburgh Blue now. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
He's like a local celebrity
You think they give me
Mike
free food, but
at
they
Pittsburgh Blue. He's got his like corner table.
Yeah.
don't. Okay, so
Mr. Garrison, right this way.
let's do.
Would you like the Art of Guitar special?
Put on the
tonight?
weird eyes wide shut mask and
Abe
come with me.
Froman, the
squid-
sausage king of
squid game.
Chicago.
All right, so let's do the
Abe
text.
Froman?
This is way easier to do. The text questions, and we'll do the 2 video questions. So my moderator on my live stream's Hannah, huge fan. Do you think if you guys were to write lyrics for Sanctus now, how different they would be from songs you wrote back in the day? Like in terms of subject matter, poignancy, I could barely read that word. Like the lyric, feeling young, grasping old, just face, fuck it, just face it. How do you think your experience in life would influence what you might write, as the saying goes, right?
Wait, did
What
you just say
know.
just fuck it?
Yeah.
Did she know about the story of that?
We have some hardcore fans,
Did
man.
we talk about that the first time? I forget what
Maybe.
the first podcast
We
even.
must have.
I don't want to like retread stories. Like, remember that time
It's
we
okay.
put your head on the dock or whatever? We're
Hot dog in your butt? No,
Well-
that never happened.
If I would speak to that, of course.
Oh yeah, you're the one.
The
Chris starts
lyrics
writing
would
all
be
the lyrics.
completely different. How I sang, I could see the difference in that between our albums too, as it went through. So when I was younger, it was a lot of just angst. It was, screw you world. I want to find a place in this world, and some of the stuff was even kind of cheesy. I'm like, this sounds cool. When I actually started writing more. Songs like Left, which I know is on that album that you don't want to talk about. But I remember when you brought that song to me, Mike, and you were like, I wrote all the music and I want you to come up with something for it. And that one really hits me as definitely more maturing. And that was like right towards the end of our group being together. But just in that journey, it was a huge transformation. So between then and now, absolutely would be quite a bit different. I wouldn't be looking for words to rhyme even all the time.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
well, yeah, it's got to roll off the tongue.
What rhymes with thread? Bread. Perfect. I think Left is like one of the best lyrical. I was going through it. Even though I hate this album, I listened to it and I go, there's so much potential. That's kind of why I keep thinking,
Well, and it's even how I sang on that song was different. I opened it up a little bit more, like it's not going to be right.
That's true.
Kind of like
I
how
wanna-
we did with the bass guitar. I always felt like when we first started, the bass guitar did what we were doing on guitars.
Yeah.
And we decided as a band, the drums and the bass go together, and they got to be doing different things than Mike and I are.
Well,
and we're
re-listening to it, I
Sounds a
can
lot
even
better.
remember recording certain parts where me and him are locking in, the backbeat stuff, like the dude.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
like
good example.
you guys are doing your thing. It was like, well, yeah, I don't have to play a million notes. Like, why don't we just simplify it in a way?
That's why this album feels like an in-between growth period
That's why I want to drill down on why Mike hates it so much. It was the most
because it sounds like asshole
well,
in a blender.
the most negative feeling other than how it sounds.
It's our sane
to
anger.
me is more the breakup of the band after the completion of it, but the creation of it, it's been so long I don't remember all the tumult in the band or whatever.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I remember being mostly positive. It was a weird process because we never recorded a full length, and I think we had this thing in our head like, well, the fucking Black Album took a year and a half to make, man. Like, we got to be in there a year. And we did. Like, we took a year because Al was working in radio at that point, right?
no.
Or were you going to Brown
I was going to
still?
college.
So I remember, he had a schedule. You worked at fucking Sam Goody or whatever you had going on at that
delivering
point.
newspapers. At the
Maybe starting to give lessons. I was still cooking at that point, which is weird that I'm come back to this point where I'm a cook again. It's weird, but I don't have tons of super negative vibes around it.
I'm glad.
You're like, oh. To me, it's weird. It's like, was it really that? I feel bad that you felt that bad during that time.
It wasn't the
It
band
makes
only.
me feel
it was,
bad.
Yeah, it was like I was
maybe it was more
projecting.
personal
Yeah, I was
stuff and,
projecting on everybody, but I felt it from everybody that everybody was in a weird transitional period too. Maybe not you as much, but
well, I mean,
you're the youngest.
That's why I kind of think it's not just the album. It's not just, but it's the time you're going through in your life at that time. You're leaving your teen. Now we're 20. Or 19. I was 19. You guys were 20. It's like you're leaving.
We're not in Chris's basement anymore.
Yeah, you're leaving your youth behind, and it's like this. Okay, now we're kind of getting into adulthood, and what does that entail? And it's not just practicing every single day because you don't have a job and you don't have a girlfriend and you still live. Everything is changing. You're kind of.
That's what I missed. I think
everything is morphing. We're growing apart in a way because we're growing up. It's like
Right.
You got a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Al had
did.
it's like we're kind of coupling off or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, it's a
at
weird
that
time.
age.
It's a weird time, and I think the album reflects that. I mean, it's just all these ideas put together in one thing, and it just didn't quite click.
Ironically, the song "Fragmented" I think sums up the whole album.
There you go.
I mean, really, because I
It should have
remember
been called Fragmented.
I remember when I listened to one of my favorite songs on there is "I Just Watch," and that guitar solo and that last note. And,
I just watch. I'm
and
not
I
a
go
part.
into that third chorus where I raise the vocals, and I remember recording that at Gary's, and I just did the end. It was like fragmented. He'd be like, "Come in, I need you to lay down vocals for a song or two," and I'd be like hanging out with my friends, probably doing stupid shit, probably getting high or something. You know what I mean? And then, okay, let's go record. Well, I'd get there and he'd have what you guys have all laid down, and you guys aren't there. It's just Gary. And he's like trying to figure out the sound, and it doesn't sound right, and I can't hear it right in my headphones. And I'm like, all right, play it again. And I go through and I throw all this emotion into it, and he's like, oh, you know what, man, you're redlining. Well, I'm like, well, you're the sound guy, so fix it, right? I'm not going to change what I'm singing because you don't like it. Well, tone it down. I'm like, that's not the way this song is. When we play this live, this part rocks and I don't care, so you got to make it sound better. That's what you
just said, dude,
doing.
Bob Rock isn't telling Hetfield to tone it down.
Right. And when I listen to it, I hear it. And you know what? It's the best sounding part to me. When I hear that, I'm like, yeah.
You mean
when you lean
this
into
shit's
it?
getting old part?
Yeah.
That's an
I'm
awesome
still
part.
proud of that. And I wouldn't ever take that back,
Yeah.
because the rest of that album wasn't that way. And I didn't like that. I didn't want
it's a cool part because for the most part, you're a clean singer. You never screamed. You never had any you know what I mean? Well, whatever you want to call it of like the metal genre, you were an actual singer. But to get to that point where you're almost throwing a little bit of that Phil Anselmo just on the edge of like breaking up, you're almost a growl. You're grit. You're almost seeing it through your teeth, right?
Yeah.
Like what's the part?
This shit's getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's this shit's getting old.
That's where you became your old self again, I think.
It's
Right.
when I listen to it, it's a me,
Yeah.
my soul.
There's a lot-
Like you really are just fucking just like grinding your teeth
And
through it.
I couldn't always keep that intensity. That's what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
fragmented, because it was, you do this part and then we'll do this part, and the sounds were different. And
I think this album would have been. This is why I have such a huge issue with it. Is because I feel like if we all, because Chris was getting better and better at recording around that time. Remember when?
Oh,
What was
yeah.
your teacher? He came in and mixed one of our songs. It sounded really.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan Akery.
that was when I was doing my mentorship.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's like, why don't we sound like this?
I thought it was some guy named Tim or something.
No, Tim was at
No.
the.
Tim is with
Tim.
Jonathan
the redhead
Akery.
Yeah.
guy, Jonathan Akery. But I was like, man, if we could have just done it at Chris's, taken our time, like regrouped together, it
Yeah.
just felt very, like you said, fragmented. But what
Because
might
we
have been?
did fragment it for my final
Exactly.
project.
Very
Exactly.
much.
But
Did we?
it blew away the record. Yeah,
Did we?
yeah.
Do you remember?
Where do we record it?
At my place, and it was because that was my final project.
We
At
did
your
let
parents'
it
house?
go,
My senior-
letting go
yeah.
together, right? For the most part.
Yeah, we did that version.
Yeah, and I play that all the time. And then on the real version, the freaking
We don't have one with vocals though. That sounded really good for letting go.
Really?
Yeah, we never finished because I think it was like our demo.
Okay, so
And
question
then-
for Mike.
Yeah, it like sounds super.
I know
good.
you have different versions of these songs, like in your brain waves, because we always changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when we recorded From Day to Day, and you added that freaking Phrygian shit, boom, boom, wham, 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 wham,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
like if we, is that something that is that you're gonna play it like the OG, just
I think so. I think what we're trying to do, what I was trying to do is be more.
then you overlaid that.
Yeah, it became Alice in Chains because I was trying to be more musical than trying to be exciting live.
No,
and
but
it just-
I like that. That's why I'm like, so if we redo
That's
these,
more of a
like what
background.
version in your mind are we laying down?
That
You
could be in the
throwing out all these
background, but-
fucking overdubs and shit from
I think
the
it's more
versions that you
background
hate?
shit. Like that should have been in the background, not in the forefront.
Okay, should have been like buried, like
Echoed.
down in the mix.
Yeah. Next question. What were the most important musical influences from when you were young kids and when you were in a band? Following on from a brief mention in a previous podcast, was it all pretty much the same genre or a bit more varied? Because that depends on which era we're talking about. Because Al got way into psychedelic shit or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, probably one of my favorite bands of all time is Pink Floyd. You grew up listening to that at a young age, and I mean anything. I liked all kinds of different things. So
Al
I think
started
that-
us out.
Are
on a
they
lot of
saying
things.
like, did we change afterwards?
I think so. Like we all started pretty united, and I think this is why the fragmented thing happened. We'd be practicing, and Al would be like, "Let's get a little trippy," and then you'd want to get a little more modern. I don't know. And then I wanted to be Smashing Pumpkins. I don't
Mike wanted to be Tori Amos.
know.
I like the
Dude,
keyboard.
can I put a
I wanted to
harpsichord in
date
here?
Tori Amos.
when you brought the keyboards into the band,
Exactly.
that was exciting though.
It was, but it also pulled us to I don't know. It
I
felt like
like
Neil
that.
Young's synthesizer era. It just didn't. I don't know.
Neil Young synthesizer era.
You don't know about that? Where he tried to get out of his contract, so he
Oh,
started
he
doing
did that
like
total terrible.
yeah,
album.
it sounds like a
Oh
robot.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard it.
What a great way to get.
What
out
about
of
the Rockabilly album? Because
Did it sound like Rando
he gave
Robot?
him,
dude?
he gave him a
Way better, though.
But you know the other one where he gave him like Neil Young like folky stuff, and they went, "No man, we want a rock record."
Oh,
So
shit.
he made a rockabilly record, like literally slicked his hair back and did like Elvis
He's
shit.
got fuck you money, I'm sure, at the time. He can do whatever he wants. you
Well,
know.
hey, he's
I know.
here's the
something we never
record.
But yeah, I mean, the influences, Chris was into hair metal quite a bit.
But like then it depends on what we're talking.
I mean, like actually
era.
going to Poison
'Cause, like-
concerts. Okay, let's
Poison.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta own it.
Yep.
Definitely, but
I love
I would
Poison.
say that stuff didn't totally influenced me a lot in our music. More like Painkiller, Judas Priest, Painkiller,
Yeah, that's
that kind of stuff was like.
Yeah, I remember you guys going to see Fight.
Yeah.
Dude, that was amazing.
I did not see that,
That
show.
whole
But you
era
guys went
was-
to it at the.
That's an intense era.
Yeah.
I listened to a lot of Alice in Chains too as we started getting into.
Well, that's what we talked about. What me and him talked about when we did the podcast that won't be heard. It was like, I remember specifically when you were doing the vocals for the album, it was like, I want this to be like Lane Staley. That was all that.
yeah.
That's that long, sustained note or whatever. The
During
intro.
Situation Zero, the middle
Right.
part.
Situation Zero.
Right.
See, that's what I mean, though. We were all trying to be other things, and it just
Dude,
came
that
out.
song
I know.
to kick off the album, like that's probably one of the best like opening track songs to an album. Any band I've ever heard. I'm not putting us in the same leagues as like our heroes and everything. We talked about like how you talked about like putting on Blackened and hearing that for the first time in the Swells. And I did not get to relate this story because we were so fragmented on that podcast. But you talked about listening to Blackened for the first time and like hearing that. Do you remember the first time I slept over at Al's and I was trying to sleep because I had to get up and do the paper route? And you guys did Blackened in my ear and you turned it up as the swell was coming up
I don't remember
to like
this.
fuck with, to wake
You don't
me up.
remember that?
I deny all
man.
It was
culpability.
like that whole like we're
trying to Back to the Future you.
boom, boom, and I'm like kind of coming out of a sleep or whatever, and I like jump.
Guess whose idea that
feet in
probably
the air.
was?
Yeah.
Mine probably though.
Oh my God.
I was an
But I had that same moment because that was the first time I ever
was.
heard Blackened. Was
Yeah.
you guys did it to fuck with me? That was the first time I heard it, and I was like, "Whoa!" Because you guys were I didn't own any. I remember you guys giving me tab
Poor Cory.
for Seek and Destroy, and went, "Play this." I'm like, I've never heard the song. How can I play along to a song? I have no idea how the tune goes. Like,
We also
it's all
told-
right there in black and white. Just play the numbers, and I'm like,
I feel so bad.
huh?
We also told him just walk up, set up your bass guitar, and
First
start
time,
playing.
yeah. Yes.
And it was somebody else's house. I mean,
Yes.
we would have been arrested.
Corey
for that,
stopped
so
right before he
thankfully
went up to the
didn't.
door. He's like, "Guys, come on." He like figured it out.
That could have been really bad for us.
Imagine just some kid
Bad
out
idea.
of nowhere walking into your basement, setting up, and just start
Well,
jamming
not only that,
Aerosmith.
but
We didn't really think that through, but we thought it would be fun.
I looked
He
up
could have
to
been
you
shot.
guys- Okay, you
Do,
guys
do, do, do,
admittedly
do,
were
do.
dorks, right?
Of course,
You guys were like scared of fucking your own shadows, right? But I looked up to you because you guys were a year older than me, and you already had leather jackets with the fucking jean jacket.
That's why we
underneath.
did all that.
Al had the furry coat
I remember that one.
underneath with the
Oh,
jean
the
or
blue?
whatever.
Light blue colored.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Mike
light
had
blue.
the leather jacket, jean jacket, vest combo.
Oh God.
And I
Surprised
was
I
like,
wasn't wearing a Michael
these
Jackson.
guys are cool. Like these guys are legit metalheads. I was still listening to Aerosmith and fucking KDWB at that point. Like,
How the mediocre have fallen. I'm just kidding. All right, you guys ready? Next question.
I thought these were going to be video.
We have two video questions. Hey, Mike and the rest of Sanctus. First of all, me and my friend really love the show and Sanctus in general, to the point where we've started our own teenage thrash band.
Oh, awesome.
Anyway, we both were wondering what your rigs were through the years. Sanctus, like guitar, basses, pedals, amps. And then Hannah had a question about that too, like how it evolved and what your dream rig was and if you ever got it, basically. So we're both really into gear. I think it was Gage and Chris, 13-year-olds from Washington. Chris had the black. I think the reason we got Corey and Chris is because they actually had the gear. Like you had a bass rig and Chris had a black drum set.
No.
Rogers, right?
Well, see, I was trying to think of when. Did we start when I had the Rogers
Yes.
kit?
The black kit because it was double bass.
Because for
9-piece.
some reason I thought, because then I switched to the white Tama kit, but it was
That was after.
exact
was
Aerosmith
after the-
drum kit. It was, that's the funny thing is
Tama
like it
Rockstar.
morphed into the Lars kit, but really it was the
was-
exact, who's the
Tommy
drummer for
Kramer?
Aerosmith? Yeah, that is his name?
Kramer?
Joey Kramer. Right?
Joey Kramer.
Did you say Tommy Kramer?
Yeah.
That's because you're from Minnesota.
Joey Kramer.
But yeah, the three toms on the top, the white
Oh.
kit, three toms, the single.
You
bass
started
with
with
the
3, then
double
went
pedal.
to 4. right?
And then I added, so that was like early on, and then I added another bass drum, and then
I thought you always had the
another
double
tom.
kick.
Nope.
No.
No,
Nope.
not at first because
Yeah.
he couldn't afford.
Did you have a
Just
double
started
Wanted to
pedal?
build it up.
Huh? A double, yeah.
So you did. So
Yeah.
you started with a double pedal.
Yeah, because
Then
I had
you
the
went to a
Rogers
double
kit.
kick.
Because I had I had a double kick with the Rogers kit for
Right.
a lot. So I was playing double
But
bass
when
for
you
a while.
originally got that tom, it was a single
switched
bass
to
with a
a-
double pedal.
It was in
Yeah.
the washroom
Yeah.
right off the garage. As
I
you
don't
came
Yeah,
remember
into
that
the
at all.
Rogers
the
kit.
garage
was.
to the
Then when
house.
we got to the white Tama kit, we moved into the living room.
into the living room,
Yeah,
and your poor
moved
parents
up.
had to listen to that every day.
Yeah.
I have a memory of your black kit being in the main room. That's weird.
No.
Okay.
The black kit was always in the back.
Laundry room.
Because that was when we would,
That's
I
where
would
we
like,
jammed with John
Jer-
Mueller-Liley and Chris Adamides.
Yep.
Traders.
Jared Johnson would jam with him.
Damn.
Because he was my neighbor, so we used to.
And you're the kid with a kid.
Actually, that's who used to go to Poison shows with me. It was
Right?
Jared.
You told
and I
the
would
story
go to
last time
Poison.
where his dad had like a heart attack. Or
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah. It was a big nosebleed.
Oh,
weird
that's a
thing
little
that wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
No heart attack.
Okay.
He recently passed, actually.
What about
So-
you,
Jesus.
Jesus?
Unfortunately.
If you got 4 hours, I can talk about the gear that I had while I was in Sanctus because I change it about every month.
Well, we have 2 minutes. Go.
Well, it started off with the Fender Basement Head with the Bullfrog 15-inch speaker, Minnesota company, Bullfrog. You still find them occasionally. And then I went to, I got a Carvin head and like a PV15 or something. I put it this way, I always had trash gear when I was in Sanctus in Modern Day Crisis. I never had a decent amp until around the time we broke up. I bought my Ampeg SVT2 all tube rack mount head from Mr. Marks, and I put that on so many different cabinets until I landed on the Ampeg 8x10 refrigerator cab. Like, why didn't I do this 10 years ago?
That would have been
like
sweet.
that head and that bass cab, no compression pedal. I mean, I used to have to use compressors to like not fart out my speakers because I was playing 5-string. Like, I got an 18 with the 210, like every version you could think of. The 215s, nothing could handle what I was putting out with that head until I got the matching classic amp. And like, that's it. I tell everybody all the time, Spectre bass, 8x10 Ampeg, and some kind of Ampeg or tube head. That's the key. But I went through so many variations.
It's going to be heavy, but it's going to be worth
The
it.
opposite of you.
Yeah.
Mike had the same rig the whole time.
I didn't.
I had many rigs.
No, he didn't.
Al,
No.
you had a lot of, like, you had the crate for
Right.
a long time.
I actually started out, when we first started, I had the Stratocaster and I had I had a Fender Squier 15 amp. I used to have to borrow amps from friends, from Jared Carlson, to play a live show, just to have something that had a 12-inch speaker. in it.
Silvertone? Didn't you use that for a while?
Yeah, I did.
With
I
a
did.
distortion pedal?
Right.
What?
Right, with a Boss distortion pedal.
No.
Hit me.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
The
just to get the
Silvertone was
volume.
huge for Al.
I didn't have, it took a long time to get the crate, which got the crate half stack. I liked it, but that amp was really flaky. It was so teeny.
It's a classic now.
It just didn't sound the way I wanted it to. I wanted a tube amp.
It
but
sounded
couldn't
solid
afford that.
state.
Right.
By the way, the Silvertone is still being used.
That's
regularly.
excellent.
Can I buy it from you now? From your dad?
Yeah.
And the SG?
But then I think I went through a
that's insane.
Univox guitar, and then the ultimate was getting that black Flying V. My dad sold his scuba diving gear that he no longer used, and because I found this guitar at a pawn shop in Anoka, and I was like, Dad, I got to have this, and he's like, well, I don't have $450
It was
bucks.
the same
for
pawn
ya.
shop that I got
But-
my Gibson bass at.
So he did that as a big,
That's how it
big
happened.
favor
That was
for me.
awesome. I
To
remember
I went and
get
got that Gibson. Al came and was like, "Oh, check out this black V."
Sitting
and
right
then
over-
he
that's
came
so weird.
back after I bought my Gibson RD Artist, 20-pound behemoth, whatever. I don't have money. Like, my dad's gonna like, dude, it's a pawn shop. He can like trade shit in. I was like, what?
My dad's got connections. What's crazy though is the sacrifices we made back then to get this gear made us love the gear so much. You know, like if you have $1 million now and you buy a V, who cares? But
right when you gotta get it, and you know that nobody's gonna give
I
you
remember
anything.
when Al got the Marshall valve state head, and I was like,
Yeah. I actually sold
So
that.
close. You're almost close to a real Marshall. It's almost there.
Turn on the treble, you'll be okay.
I had that some years after the band, and eventually I was like, I'm getting rid of this thing. I didn't
it
like
said
it at
I
that
Marshall.
point.
remember that
that
big
was-
crate head though.
Yeah, that's
I-
what I
I
remember with the blue and red knobs or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up replacing that valve state too. So
I remember getting my first wireless unit at Newt Capet
Oh God, I remember.
just in time for
wireless
that
days.
first Regime show.
I have a Fender twin reverb now at home. I like that. So.
Oh, nice.
Way to go, man. They take pedals really nice.
Does it
The
take a
wireless
pedal?
days. Remember we used to climb on the PA speakers and headbang?
Yeah.
Surprised we didn't freaking kill ourselves, but
Wasn't it the extended version of My Demand where I
Yeah.
would jump off the stage?
We'd
and,
weird
run
everybody
through the
out.
whole bar.
I hate it when people run off the stage, but we used to do that.
The wireless you guys had was really neat though, and I remember you guys wanted me to get one, and I wanted one so bad because
You're like, I can't
Dean-
swing that 150.
Dean, do you have any
bucks."
more scuba gear?
right,
Yeah.
those were expensive in the
Oh,
day,
dude.
too.
Mine was like $250, and my mom bought it for me. Luckily, otherwise I would have never had it.
I would have never, like I said, we went to Newt Capet in Uptown when it was in that old strip mall.
No,
And not the basement spot. Like they were in the end of that strip mall next to that Burger King.
remember,
Did
dude.
anybody remember this? And it was an Electro Voice. It was some weird. It was like a microphone company that wouldn't normally. Or was it a Nady? No, it wasn't one of the normal. But only reason I got it because it was on clearance. It was like 50% off, and it was Christmas. Like, what do you want? I want that thing.
freedom.
Gotta put it on layaway.
I'm using
It
mine.
wasn't Boss, was it?
It might have been. It might have been a weird.
It
Like,
was weird. I remember. that.
but it was good. It was a true diversity. You know, have the two. You know,
the
the guys
two
like this
antenna.
is good because you got the two antennas. There's no other signals going to cut in like Spinal Tap.
Unless we practiced or played at Ryan's, and the
Yeah.
people upstairs would come through my wireless.
Do you remember that one
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
That
All of
was
a sudden I hear like
hilarious.
Dawkins coming through my amp. I'm like, what the
It
fuck?
just sounded like he was standing right there.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Now I use like a Shure, and it doesn't have any antenna. I don't know what the hell's going on. I have to use one tonight, not to be douchey, but I have to run back and forth to make sure the recording's working. But yeah, it's crazy. Should we do the 2 video questions?
How are we doing on time?
We have to hurry, actually. I'm sorry.
721.
We have one more question that's text. David Rosie, hey Mike, when you guys had your first gig, how consistent were you with your set list? What section freaked you out the most? Looking forward to see the video.
What?
The first gig we ever had, which part of it freaked you out the most?
The whole thing from the time we played the first note to the time we played the last note.
Because what was our
Freaking
first
out
gig?
during the
Lisa's
whole-
party? Because I remember
just watched it.
Rock and Roll Limited, I was afraid of Hangar 18, and I should have been. But we did it for some reason. Somehow we played
Dude,
it.
Mike sent me a. What do you call that when people do those videos? You sent me the Dave Ellison video. What's that called?
Oh, a cameo.
Cameo. Yeah, this is your buddy Mike. Want me to send this to you? Congratulations on the restaurant, and I heard you guys try to play Hangar 18, and that's a difficult song to play. I'll
Yeah,
give
it
you guys
is.
give you guys credit for at least trying.
You're like, Dave, on your reply, don't send any videos to girls for a
like-
while. I'm just kidding.
I-
Sorry.
That was a year before, and then like the memory came up, and I was like, "Ooh, Mike, this didn't age well."
No. Do you guys remember freaking out about any songs at Lisa's party? Like, oh my God, we're actually going to try this one.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, we
We played Stairway to
Or
Heaven.
no, that was a different party. But I remember
That's one that comes to mind.
Wait,
too.
wasn't that when
Stairway
we tried to
Heaven.
fill time and we were Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo?
no,
that
I
was-
shit my pants
Oh,
at Lisa's party
it
because
was
I had to
Hope's
play
party.
Peace
I bet.
Sells.
Yeah.
Hope's party. We played Stairway to Heaven.
and
What the hell
in a
were we
garage.
doing?
it was horrible.
We played
and it was
Peace Sells at-
hard. And
We played Peace Sells at Lisa Knudsen's birthday party, and I had to play that freaking dude. Like I had to like, oh my God.
I would always be afraid that I'd forget the lyrics, which
And
I
believe
did.
it or not, I think Peace Sells is one of our stronger tunes at the first gig.
No, that was one of those things that if I forgot the lyrics, I really didn't care. I would just
Al was
make
like-
up something anyways, as long as you go through it. I'm like, people
Remember
aren't really
Al singing all
listening
that stuff,
anyways.
like it's still we, the people, right?
You were good at making up lyrics. Some people can't do that. Okay.
If there's no way.
Yeah.
I was a good bullshitter.
Oh, hey Mike, this is me, Deep. I'm from Mumbai. I'm your only fan, I believe, from India. So my questions is to Christopher, you, and the two questions. So the first question to Christopher is, man, I've seen you guys playing your metal gigs on those videos which Mike uploads. You kind of do a weird double bass kind of technique. It looks pretty old school, but you're kind of nailing it away. How do you do it? And do you still play drums? So I would like to know about that, Christopher. And secondly, to Mike, and this much like for everyone, how do you guys, I mean, what's like your advice for bands to stay together? Because I am in a band right now, and I don't know how well we're going to do. We're going to surely break in like an EP, but we just don't. I mean, I'm tight, so are they, but we don't know how we're going to like gel all of it together and see for success. Oh, and I don't know if Mike remembers me. I'm the guy who keeps on irritating you in your live streams and writes Megadeth.
That's awesome.
About Megadeth. Anyways, and thanks Cory for mentioning about who did he mention? Colin Hay in the podcast. I've actually commented. That's me. BBM drums.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Colin Hay, kick-ass. So, Christopher, which type of double bass techniques do you use? And secondly, it's for the band and for everyone. How do we like a band stays together? Thanks.
I think he means like stay tight, not stay together.
Oh, I
Because
see.
he's like, I'm tight. Some guys are tight, but we're not like together, gelling together. So, Chris, you're
Cool.
classic double bass.
Thanks for the question. I was trying to think. I don't really know if it's weird, but just because it's all I've known to do that. But I've gone over different techniques over the years of trying different things, especially when I was first getting in, trying to figure out how to get up to speed and make it consistent through. And I realized one of the big things is starting with a really bad foot pedal. I had Rogers foot pedals that had the leather straps, and I was playing all of these crazy double bass songs if like halfway through the song the screws would fall out, and then the actual plates would go away. So you just had to kind of like run with them.
That's
around.
why you were playing like this.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, but then once I started to realize getting the heels up in the air and bringing the balls of your feet down a little bit lower in the middle of the plate, that was a big change for me.
Leverage.
Yeah,
Leverage
yep. And then one of the best things for me too was I used to get these little ankle weights that somebody in my house was using to work out exercises. So I'd put those on my ankles when I would practice, and that was I could really see a big change because it would make it so after when I take them off and then we'd do a rehearsal or do a show, it felt
light.
Yeah, it was light.
Yeah.
It felt so much easier at that point.
I remember that now.
Yeah, that was
So
a
did
big
that give you a
change.
lighter touch with your feet? Like a
It's-
nimbleness
it just
almost?
It just built up the
Your
muscles
muscle.
of the core. That's
Sure.
that's the thing. If you can, what I realized is I had no muscles, but once you start to build that in your lower back, then you can literally just like float in the chair and just kind of.
I had no idea you were doing resistance training.
Yeah, I
Bruce
guess so.
Lee.
I
That's
guess so.
funny.
Well, you did
It
wear
was-
spandex, so you had to
Yeah.
build
Well,
up
the
those
weirdest
muscles.
thing is to think about the difference of being a drummer versus being a guitar player or a bass player or a singer. Like, it's such a physical job. It doesn't enter my mind about like physically being tired through a show because I'm just standing there. I mean, really, I could stand there for 2 hours and play as long as my hand doesn't cramp up, but you literally have to have like a physical stamina to
if you watch that-
maintain that.
Yeah,
Mirage show,
physicality
Chris
through-
is sweating and we're all just having a great time,
yeah. I would always be soaked.
Yeah.
Wow. Playing tennis too. That was another thing. I played a lot of tennis back in those days, and that was really big for building up the legs. I had
just
like
thought-
soccer legs.
I wish
yeah.
I would have did that. Yeah. I wish you would have recruited me to the tennis team.
Yeah.
because I was in such good shape back. I tried to play tennis as an adult,
Cory playing tennis.
and it was just like, can't do it. Can't. Like, it's just a old dog trying to learn a new trick. Like, how does this work? You know,
I just realized something. A lot of old drummers are the last ones in the bands that I've been playing with lately. Like Foghat, the drummer's the last guy. Maybe it's because they're actually working out when they're playing, and it gives them a healthier system.
what do you mean the last guy, last remaining member?
Yeah,
Still
them
alive?
and who else do we play with? Foghat and the Guess Who. It's like the only original member was the drummer.
That's right.
And I just saw Deep Purple drummer, same thing. It's like maybe
no
it's
Richie
the
Blackmore. I thought he was
cardio.
back with Deep Purple now.
Dude, it's freaking what's his name?
I don't know if Ringo's doing much cardio, but
Dude, he's got enough hot.
Have you guys seen that Rolling Stones Beatles like meme?
Ooh, I forgot about Charlie Watts. Never mind.
It's like the Rolling Stones don't have a drummer or a bass player, like original members. And there's a picture of Ringo and Paul McCartney going like, what do you think? Like Beatles, Rolling Stones, you know.
yeah.
They
be
need a
awesome.
singer and a guitar player. They need a drummer and a bass player.
They
Like,
could
let's
charge
just throw them together.
$5,000 a ticket for that.
Oh
but-
my gosh.
I'll give them all the money because they'd play everywhere.
What was the second question about being tight as a band? I mean, I think of that
Does he mean
summer
as
at
being
Chris's.
together, like as friends?
No, I think he meant like playing tight and gelling together.
Well, that's just lots of practice. I mean,
Well, or I thought we
Bottom
taught
line,
each
right?
other a lot of things too.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? What are you doing? What do you do? Like, you know, you can play on a guitar. You can play
what the fuck is Cory doing?
a lick two different ways. Like
Who
the way,
knows?
if we play Seek and Destroy, you'll see the way I like to play it, even though I know it's easier to play it another way,
Yeah.
you know?
The
But I feel comfortable using my pinky. And it's just like, okay, so how do we take our talents and our preferences that we both have, and we're individual, we're separate, and how do we make this work together?
You actually have to communicate.
Yeah.
well, I've learned a lot from watching Mike's YouTube channel.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
There is.
Well, my kid is watching it a lot, so I'm like going back and watching stuff. And I went back and watched your how to really play Iron Man versus like here's how the fucked up tab tells you how to do it.
Oh my God.
And you're talking about you could play it on the higher strings, but Tony Iommi plays everything on the fatter strings, so it sounds like
right.
that's what I always did. You guys kind of taught me that too. Like, well, why would you play the octave of that note higher on your D string where it has no power to it? If you play the low octave, it has more bass.
You just nailed it, Al. I watched James playing Seek and Destroy because I was trying to relearn it, all the details. In the tab book, it says to do the chorus on the middle two strings, D and G. He actually plays it on the A and the D strings.
Yeah.
So tonight, if I fuck up, it's because I'm trying the new way. That's my excuse. But yeah, those little details. And then what you said earlier about you and Chris hooking up and getting tight. And then Al and I were just like the frosting on the cake.
Yeah.
It's like we built it like a pyramid. We didn't try to all be the base of it. It's like you guys were the foundation. We knew our roles, I think.
I think one of the biggest changes for us was when we were rehearsing every day at your after school at your house. But what we I think one of the biggest things, if I look back at that, I think early on we were all so focused on our own parts, but then we started to realize when other people were messing up, you know, like so we could pay attention to each other's parts, and so we could realize that we were playing together, and we would even practice parts in rehearsal with just two of us playing or individuals, so one could hear the other parts going on. It's like we started to like realize that there was four people in the band, not just ourselves in the band.
Not just ourselves.
Huge revelation.
Yeah.
You could
I even
definitely
went
see
through that
change.
in later years when I was older and even more experienced. When I was playing with Hook Echo, they'd go like, because I had to learn their songs, which were crazy, and I didn't know they didn't tell me what to play. I played whatever sounded right. And you guys we eventually did this too, but even, almost 10 years later was, Cory, what note are you hitting? Like this? That's nowhere near the chord. We're like, it's completely
Details, man.
It's not musical.
Yeah.
Like you guys used to, I think we used to have that saying too.
Yeah.
Those guys said it too. Like, no, it's, you're completely out of range there. Like we're playing this. You got to go hit one of these notes in this chord. Cause whatever the fuck that is, but that's what we were doing. It was, hey Cory, what do you think you're playing there? Because we're doing this.
We ignored you for a long time. We're just like, he's just doing the bass stuff. Who cares, But don't feel bad because even the Heartless band, all experienced musicians will be like, after 5 years of being together, Cory, what are you doing there? An E7. why? We're all doing E minor, you know. So no matter what, it's just
Right.
like sometimes you don't catch those little details. I think eventually we all cut our details, and I think at our peak, what would you guys say our peak was?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
95.
Really?
Yeah.
So before we recorded the album,
Yeah.
or while we were recording it,
Before. Right before.
That's probably very accurate. Okay, was there a third question? I don't remember.
No, he just was thanking Cory for bringing.
Oh,
well,
whatever.
he said something about Colin Hay.
Yeah.
I mentioned it on one of those things because we talked about, what do you listen to now?
Wow.
Wait, that guy was from Dubai. Did he say that? Yeah. He said he's the only fan from Dubai. Oh no, Mumbai. He's from Mumbai, India. This other guy. So one guy's from Mumbai and the other guy's from Dubai. Wait, Nick Newton is from
I've been
Dubai?
doing this for quite a while. You guys probably already know who I am because I've made like 34 SANCTUS videos. So I think I have 3 questions here today.
But I thought he's Swedish or something. Nope.
What is individually your guys' favorite SANCTUS songs for each and every one of you?
He has like a Denmark flag
What
on
is
it.
your guys' gear that you miss the most from back in the day? And how bad is the MDC album? Because I've been asking Mike to release it for quite a while and he just doesn't want to.
It's an inside joke. He keeps wanting me to send him this album, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm just gonna fight it, till the bitter end.
Just burn him a CD and he's not going to post it. If he just wants it for himself, give it to the boy. I will give it to you. Don't worry about it. Don't ask Mike.
I'm proud of the musical content on that record.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just not the.
It's half there. If we
Yeah.
could have recorded at your studio and done it the way we wanted to, which is what I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I
we
would be
have
so
to.
proud of
I
it.
accept it. Like I told Mike last time, like I accept it warts and all. It might not be the best sounding, but the time and effort we put into it is obvious. You know, bad production values aside on certain songs, but certain songs work.
You know, you asked about a favorite. I really don't have a favorite. I mean, there were several that I really liked. I would really like this part of this song. I really like this.
Yeah.
Like I listen to Average and I'm like, oh man, I miss playing that. I want to just rock that out. And then I'm like, yeah, but I don't really like that part and that song. Nah, maybe not so much.
I
Okay.
think for me, it's how I attach to them during a show. Like Average and Swords of Sadness are 2 that I can always remember having just a crazy moment at doing a show.
What about Incomplete? Kind of has that same.
Oh yeah,
verse.
well yeah, see that one too. But yeah, there's a couple that would just. I mean, we had some like crazy moments of like Mirage or like First Ave, and just
I can always pin
God,
it
this is
down to
awesome.
like an exact moment, maybe not a song, but an emotional moment in a song where it built up. For me, was always Family of One because we worked into that crescendo at the end.
Yeah.
Look at me using musical terms like crescendo. But, and the thing that pisses me off is when I listen to the album, I didn't do this thing that I used to do live, which was like my favorite thing to do was at that end when we do the dun 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 down. I do this thing where I slide up to the 12th fret live and I bend it. I do this crazy
I remember
bend on my
Do
low
You.
E string. It was like do 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 do. We I do this wee like a deep bend, which I never
Should have used a wah.
had a place or reason to do it in any other song, but for some reason, that part in Family of One, it worked for some reason. Like emotion, it's like this emotional swelling up. It was only live. Didn't do it on the I listened to it back on the album version. I'm like, at that point, I was playing 5-string, and I think I went to like the low B to hit that note instead of up high to give it like more corn. I don't know, like low gravitas or something. But doing that thing was always my favorite part, to play and just that build up, that emotional whatever angst of that.
The build-up is why I like Incomplete the best, I think, even though I don't know if there are deeper songs out there that we did, but it's like Incomplete when it was like that dunk and the beat changed.
Yeah.
And you felt the audience just waiting for the payoff, you know?
Incomplete.
Yeah. And then From Day to Day.
That was fun.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, from day to day. That
Yeah,
was.
because that one, I think of our Mirage
Did we
video.
open with
well,
that?
yeah, the Mirage video.
It
you
was
was
our
Day to-
second. It might have been. It might have been the opener. I'm
posted
not
the
sure.
I can't
Mirage
remember.
video.
Yeah, but just hitting that EQ pedal and everyone's like, "What's going on?" Then we kick in, it just grooves a certain
Yeah.
way, you know. And then the reverse for whom the bell tolls for the verse, do 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 do. It just always felt good to me. So
Yeah.
that
The
would
what
be
from Day to Day?
From Day to Day.
Oh, that's my probably second
Yeah.
favorite bass lick
Now that I
thing.
said something,
Shut
I'm
up.
just kidding. I claim From Day to Day.
Yeah, but you talk about the intro, right? The reverse for whom the bell tolls.
Yeah.
And before we kick into the first verse,
No, it's during the verse. Do do do.
I know, but in the intro before we hit the first verse,
Oh, okay.
and I do that dee doo doo doo.
Yeah, that was
that
cool.
little.
See, one of those moments that you throw in. Cory, I think your contrarian personality really helped your bass playing because you would always be like, "Those guys are doing that. I'm going to do something else," and it actually paid off.
Right?
Well, I try to be musical.
Unlike not being agreeable to where we're going to go eat after the freaking podcast.
What? I'm
That's-
agreeable to go eat anywhere. I'll eat
Okay.
anything. I'll eat Wendy's with you guys.
Speaking of that, I'm pretty hungry. Let's jam a little bit. I'll try to capture it. If it ends up on the podcast, that'd be awesome because I'd love to contrast the Seek and Destroy. Maybe it'll be worse today, but versus what we do today.
I don't know about that.
The China up high enough?
You
So-
can raise
That's
it.
good.
We don't have the
I
pretty
tuck my shirt in for good
Yeah.
luck.
90s girls, but let's
Do I
do
get
it.
to use my own bass?
Did you bring it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one ready for you, but good lord.
What kind of bass?
Fender, P
Let me
bass.
have that Fender.
What are you
crap.
too good to
Love
play
it.
a Fender, you
Yes.
bastard? All right, I don't think I have anything left on there, so that was fun.
Did we get all the? Did we answer all the
I
questions?
think so.
What did he say again?
He asked about because he had like 4 questions. Oh, gear. Any gear you regret? Should I play it again?
Yeah, play it again.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Sorry,
We got to get our
Okay, I'm telling
biggest
you, Mike,
fan
this kid
answered.
might live in Dubai, but he is
I've been
like
waiting for this for quite a
Danish.
while. You guys probably already know who I am because I've made like 30.
The last name Newtonen.
So I think I have 3 questions here today. My
He's
first
Dutch,
question
isn't that
is,
weird?
What is individually your guys' favorite Sanctus songs for each and every one of you? What is your guys' gear that you miss the most from back in the day? And
that I
how
miss.
bad is the MDC album? Because
Oh,
I've
that's
been
right.
asking Mike to release it for quite a while, and he just doesn't want to.
Yeah, whatever. That remains to be seen. Let's just put
Gear
it
that
that
you
way.
miss.
I miss my freaking black Yamaha. That thing was awesome.
Pacifica.
Yeah. The white V too, but that Pacifica was just all around a great guitar. It's like was cheap, but it was it
I miss like all of your guitars for some reason. Like that, you didn't have the Ibanez though back in
No.
that
The
seven
point, right?
string?
Yeah, the 7-string.
You know
Like,
the story
I was
about that?
heartbroken when you got rid of that.
I sold it to my student who sold it for drugs.
Oh,
The universe
gosh.
that your mom saved because I ordered it, and every day I'd watch the UPS truck go by. I'm like, "Where's my guitar?" She had to go and found out that it was like lost, and because it was actually sent through the mail, U.S. mail, and then it was actually being auctioned off, and she like got it from there.
Wow, I
As,
don't
like,
remember
lost-
that. at
Yeah,
all.
It's
your
like a
mom
lost
saved
package?
it. Yeah, lost package. It was being auctioned off, and she saved it. Freaking 7-string Universe. Today it's worth like $5,000, $10,000. It's crazy.
They
And I
are?
sold
It
to
had
my
the full like ivy inlays and like the
No, it had the white pyramids.
white pyramids.
That
That's
grew,
what it was.
and it had everything was 7 because it had to be, but it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Universe.
So this is the white universe, not the black.
Yeah,
Right.
white.
I wanted the white one, the white and gold one, and now it's
See, Gilbs and Hook Echo, he had the black
black and green one.
the black with the mirror pickguard.
Oh yeah,
Or
that's
is
the
that the
corn
Jam?
version. That's the cheaper corn version. No offense, but
There's no gear that I miss, but I always wanted a Les Paul Studio Light because that was the most beautiful guitar to play.
Is it the double cutaway?
No, they only made it from 91 to 99. It's a limited edition, and you try to find them online right now. They're pretty spendy. They're a rare guitar.
A
to
lot of
get.
old
Is that the
guitars
one I
are-
have? The junior?
No, you.
Les Paul Junior?
I'm talking.
it
It's
had the
a.
studio burgundy studio.
It's the Studio Light. They
have to show
especially
me
call
the
it. It had the heavier duty pickups, and I think it
Is
had
it
Seymour
without the
Duncan
top?
pickups.
It's without the mahogany top. Right?
Yeah. It's got it's a thinner, lighter body. So I like the light body, but the sound, those pickups were super cool.
you get the
on 'em.
benefits of the sound of a Les Paul, but not the weight.
Right.
You know what's also a really good guitar, and I played it at that Danny and Cindy's was when I was in there in later years when I was playing with Josh. They had a Les Paul standard double cutaway.
Damn.
So it was double cut, so you could get all the way up, more like an SG.
Those are ugly.
But it was a Les Paul, and but it played amazing.
I hate them.
Why? You're being a contrarian. Stop.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
not.
contrarian.
What's
the
the-
contrarian?
What's that? Not Santana play that? What was that guitar?
TRS?
DRS.
That
Yeah.
that
when
one,
you
yeah.
got rid of that one too, I was like,
I don't miss that one as much. It was too easy to play. It was like
Oh, it
having
was
a
beautiful.
freaking. It was like
Yeah.
having a Lamborghini in the garage. I never played, but yeah, it did sound really good.
I remember Al at some point had a weird Ibanez, but it wasn't a cool Ibanez. It was like some weird mid '80s
I forgot
that didn't have buttons on it.
Matt Tollefson gave that to me to play.
What shape was it?
It was a Strat shape. It was black with a white pick guard, and
Yeah,
I did play it.
and it
live
had like
quite a bit.
some weird built-in shit,
I
right?
actually sold that guitar too, so unfortunately I didn't keep that one. But yeah, it had push buttons for your pickup coils.
didn't
on
you
there.
play like a hollow body for quite some time
Yeah.
too?
Was
that your drop
I
D
had
one?
one. I got rid of that too.
Yeah.
I have a
I
different
don't
hollow
even
body now.
remember that.
That's pretty
Yeah.
ballsy.
I've
to
got
play
one that's like a
hollow body
335. I've got.
in a metal band.
I still
Yeah,
have
it was
like,
like an Epiphone 3.
yeah, I
Oh,
still have like
shit.
5 guitars. My son plays
Really?
one. Yeah, my son's got a couple of them down in his room.
It's gonna be
but-
interesting to see your Black V in action again. Should we get to it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for
for the
watching.
question.
And yeah.
but they made a stranger to kill them all. I just knocked out a freaking leopard.